As America votes to elect its 47th president, Joe Biden's presidency comes to a close. From historic highs to unprecedented challenges, Biden's time in the White House has left a mark on both the nation and the world. As we near the end of Joe Biden's presidency, we're taking a hard look back at the defining controversies, stumbles, and struggles that marked his time in office. From domestic economic pain to intense global debates, Biden's administration faced some serious hurdles, and not every outcome lived up to expectation. So let's take a look back at some of the biggest failures of the Biden presidency. One of the most controversial chapters of Joe Biden's presidency was the US withdrawal from Afghanistan. After 2 decades of American involvement, Biden's decision to end the war was intended to close a painful chapter in American history. But the chaotic execution of the withdrawal raised serious questions about his impact on the Afghan people, America's global image, and the future of Afghanistan itself. Supporters of Biden's decision say he simply ended what had become an unwindable war, and that no withdrawal would have been without risk. But for many, the disastrous scenes in Kabul left a lasting impression of an exit that could have been far better managed. Joe Biden also faced criticism over his handling of 2 major international crises: the Israel-Gaza conflict and the ongoing war in Ukraine. Despite intense diplomatic efforts, his administration struggles to contain these escalating conflicts. It has also raised questions about America's role on the global stage and Biden's effectiveness as a leader in times of crisis. Biden's calls for restraint haven't slowed the escalation. Moreover, his decision to supply weapons to Israel and Ukraine has added more fuel to the fire. After taking office, President Biden had promised a more humane approach to immigration, rolling back some of his predecessors' hardline policies. But with surge of migrants at the US-Mexico border, that approach is now under fire. Republicans argue that Biden's policies were too lenient, encouraging more migrants to attempt the dangerous journey north. Unauthorized crossings at the US southern border soared record high during the first 3 years of Joe Biden's presidency. Joe Biden's handling of the economy has also been under intense scrutiny. Under the Biden administration, Americans faced rising costs and inflation, from record high housing prices to ongoing supply chain disruptions. The administration's measures, such as the Inflation Reduction Act, have yet to show significant relief for most Americans. Some analysts say that interest rate hikes by the Federal Reserves are also putting pressure on the economy. Not everyone ages at the same time. But when there were serious questions raised about Biden's mental health faculties due to his age, the president lived in denial. His inability was on full display on various instances. However, he refused to give up. It was only when Donald Trump knocked him out in the verbal war of words during the presidential debate he couldn't shy away anymore. He had to give up and withdraw from the presidential race. So as Biden's term draws to a close, these key issues stand out as some of the most challenging and divisive moments of his presidency. Whether history will view these as necessary struggles or missed opportunities, only time will tell. Bureau Report, India Today Global.